evil, because I'm blind to it all. In my mind, my gun, they comfort me, because I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong. I'll walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil, because I'm blind to it all. In my mind, my gun, they comfort me, because I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong. No, I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong.
I love reacting, I love reacting, I love reacting, I love reacting. That's me. Yeah, you're wondering how I got into this position. It was through reacting. Remember Megamind? What a great movie. First movie I ever saw do that setup. And I've seen it since, probably. It might storm today, chat. The first time in forever I've seen a real-life storm, because I spent all of last summer, actually not really, in New Zealand, I was going to say. But, you know, it's exciting and cool and stuff, and I love storms. Now, we're getting rid of this. Did we tweet anything? We've got a poll to go over. God, this funny tweet about sometimes I think about how Cersei, Stannis, and Lysa all lived in the Red Keep together. They need to cancel the Conqueror show and work on this instead. True! You can get all the actors back and shit. It would be great. And it's not Renly was also there. Tyrion kind of maybe was there, or maybe he was living at Castle Rock, but then did they go to pick Tyrion up before they went to Winterfell? That's a little weird. Who else lived there? You know, we've got the great Jon Arryn. We've got Robert. We've got Stannis. No, Stannis' wife didn't live there, chat. Neither did Shireen, I'm pretty sure. They were both on Dragonstone. But, you know, there's a bunch of wacky fellas. The Hound was there. Crazy. We had the great Joffrey. Just a bunch of characters that pretend they don't know each other when the series started. It's great. But anyway. There's also a surprise stream. Fleabag Season 1, Episode 1 is as good as I wanted Season 1 to be. It's totally tubular, gentlemen. Tubular. It is. I'm on Episode 4 now, and I'm going to finish it tonight. Finish it in 2 days, you know. I've also now seen 2 episodes of The Great Diebuster. You know, I'm just consuming left and right here. We also did a poll that ended, chat. A poll. Yes, we love polls here. The people want the Chainsaw Man video, but I'm making the Berserk video instead. You'll have a little bait and switch, a little misdirect. Now, is this going to update? Oh my god, it's already updated. I wrote quite a bit about this today, chat. You know, maybe it will turn around. Maybe a new video will be out tomorrow. It won't be. I got to go to work tomorrow. This is my last day off. I'm depressed. As you always are. It's like Sunday when you're a little kid, but it's today, and it's a Monday. But anyway, I don't know. We could read through this or some other videos if we get bored enough at some point. You know, where are we at with that wary tenderness video? You know, we call that the Great Next Last of Us video. Oh my god, did you see that correct? Because I hadn't changed it in a little while on this laptop. Just on the great regular computer. Last of Us Part 2 is not a... Oh, this is the gentle thingy. This has existed for 4 years. Will it finally get made into a video? That would be truly epic. I think this might still have some of the new video in it. Like, stuff here, I'm probably like... And then, like, bro, and then do you remember when it was revealed back in 2016? We love 2016, and that has to exist here somewhere. Or maybe I copied it over into the other thing. This video is going to be long as fuck. Each part is going to be an hour, and it's going to cover about 10 minutes of video game. So it's going to be truly epic, but yes, we got that going. There's also that Madman video I was looking at a little bit, but, you know. Instead, we've got a great Berserk video here that we're all very excited. That's part 2 to a video that didn't do that too good anyway. So, you know, but we just got to be consistent, chat. Oh my god, the great Colin is speaking. Hold on, mute this. Oh my god, we're at 300, count them, 301 views on the great video. It's nearly at 311 plus. Or was it 301 plus? You know old YouTube, chat. I know old YouTube. We're like kindred spirits. No new comments, though. I don't want to click off because I want to get all that great advertising revenue. How many views does this say we had? 300? It just said 301, you liar. It's 7th out of the great 10. Nothing will ever catch this Evangelion video. Perhaps we should make a new Evangelion video. Minty doesn't watch these streams, but Minty sent me that Asuka Dojin that ended up being adapted into the director's cut episode or something, and I finally read it. I should have told him about that, but I forgot, so hopefully he watches a stream or something, and I don't have to remember to tell him that later. Now look at this little uptake, we love that. Now the channel was fucking dying even though I wasn't checking it recently, so, you know, sometimes you just have big up months and sometimes you just have big down months. Like if we go 90, I'm pretty sure we're at an all-time low here. See, look at this shit, that's not good. We love this. Oh my god, look at our great uploads. In the last 90 days we have uploaded 2 videos, this is epic. Probably would have thought it was one more than that, but anyway. I've also got to upload all the great VODs. Should we do it while we're live? That would be crazy. It's fucking hot in here, chat. Oh, it's just so hot. You gotta whisper. You gotta let the air in, chat. You just gotta shh. We don't need this anymore. Are we doing a crossword? I love crosswords. Let's do a crossword. Alternative to Macs. PC or Linux or... Is that what it's gonna be? Because it's not... This is too difficult. Mountains on the Swiss Miss logo. I don't know what that is. They hit the books. Nerds. Epic. They hit the books. Nerd. Or dorks. Dork. This is epic. Don't be that guy. Sky, oh my god. Unlikely to approach a stranger at a party. It's spy, isn't it? That's funny. If that is spy. Oh, it's shy, isn't it? Fuck. Lame, I wish it was spy. Section scheduled 2 hours south of UCLA? Or is this like school 2 hours south of UCLA? Berkeley? No, I know that's in California, right? What do you think the C in UCLA stands for? University of California, Los Angeles? It's probably not nerds. Timepiece. I don't know. Symbol on the music staff. Pot's flatter counterpart. Pan. Epic. So it is nerds. Oh yeah, it has to be because of shy. So it has to be U. I mean, it has to be D. Shut up, Miller. Shut up. Now. Timepiece? What's this one? Alternate to Mac. PCs. Kill yourself. What a terrible fucking thing. Now, what's this again? I don't know. Mountains, the Alps. Epic. Klex. Cleese. Clicks. Close. Hold on, we can figure this one out. Timepiece. Sprog. Sprig. Sprag. This isn't real. SDCU. I have no idea. They hit the books. Why can't I get this one? Nerds, whores, harlots. I don't know. Let's reveal the thingy. I'm giving up on this one. Congratulations, I got it all right. PC Alps nerds fish. They bit the hooks. I really should read, huh? What the fuck? I would have got it instantly. But everything else was right. What the fuck? SDSU. That's not a real place. Sprig. I kept wanting to say Spurg because that's funny. And Clef. Like Clef Key or Clefar, the Pokemon? Probably not. Anyway. 2 down Clef. You didn't know that. You said for the fact. So we got some videos. Fuck, it's hot in here. What the fuck's going on? Unless Miller wants to talk about the Great Die Buster or the Great Flea Bag, we've got some videos to react to. Oh my god, or we can read our Great Berserk script. At the end of my previous Berserk video, Guts, Griffith, and the Berserk's corpse motif, I said the Berserk's corpse motif was a smaller echo of Berserk's larger themes of needing to overcome trauma. What was I thinking? Oh, I was thinking about a ciclet idea that's actually good that I'm not going to say on stream. I was like, what great idea was I just thinking about? Like, treble, clef? Treble, bass and treble. I know all about music. Farnese is quite the repressed young lady, don't you think? This mostly spurs from her daddy issues and her parents and family not paying enough attention to her, and the result is she trying to burn the vision now when she was younger in a plea for attention. She got some of it, and this developed into a rather psychotic attraction to fire that persists into the Farnese we'll meet. Hellbent on burning heretics and witches at the stake. Oh my god, I did need to ask Miller for something. So was Rosine also getting molested or just Jill? Because that's very important because they say they both did. So where's this one? Nope, not Teresa and the Count. They're lame. We've got Jill and Rosine from The Lost Children come immediately to mind. Rosine first, then Jill thereafter. That's one word, you fucking moron. Seeking a place to run away to. And when their home lives got too dark to face, they both are dealing with molestation and parental issues, all completely out of their individual control. I don't think that sentence led anywhere. This leads to Rosine making a deal with the God Hand and becoming a monster. And by the end of the arc, Jill, through her interactions with Apostle Rosine, Guts and Puck, gains the strength to stand against her problems, rather than yearn to a place to run away from them. Epic, I'm a genius. Miller doesn't got any answers. He doesn't remember either. This is crazy. Now, I feel like when she runs away, her shirt's, like, cut. But that's also because her dad's like, yeah, she's a rape baby. I hate rape babies. And he's very mean and stuff, because he's not actually her dad. Maybe you should read the manga if you don't remember shit. Well, I could check or I could ask you, retard. Anyway, we got him shut. And aren't you the one always advocating for me not to reread it? You never win with this guy, chat. Anyway, did you see that Alita restream last night? He was going over some funny things. I made him watch that cop video. It was great. Now, on stream today, I want to watch the Great Griffith video that Masked Man made, because remember last time he made a great Lost Children video, the definitive Lost Children video. It was terrific. How to bring characters back to life and how not to. Oh, Fraud and Goku? Hold on, do we have to watch this one? It's crazy. My manga is officially back. Oh my god, Masked Man has a manga. When am I making my great manga? Why horror manga works. The government won't let this this manga get an anime. Is it too anti-establishment? Oh no, he's a terrorist. How long ago? This one? It was this year. Look at the turnover rate from this motherfucker. Reading more manga with terrible titles. Yay. Booty Royale. That's pretty funny. Before you read other manga, read this. What is this? Vagabond or Kingdom or some shit? We don't care about those two. Manga Dex. Isn't that an illegal website? It's his manga. Is his manga good, chat? We can't shit on another man's manga. That would be mean. Oh my god, he's got one chapter. How did he get it on Manga Dex? This is Bigly. Look at this. He's like scary, standing on intestines. There's no way he's drawing this, right? We got some shading on this. You're an idiot. Yup. Now that's dialogue. Hold on, we're just scrolling, chat. Swag Kage had a manga for a little while. I think I read 2 chapters of that. Oh my god, it's like a wall and a person in the wall. That's pretty epic. That's pretty cool. We've got some abstract illustration here. We got a very Berserk-esque environmental shot. We got Berserk-esque walking in the snow. Never seen that in anything else. We got a monster, it looks like. We got an epic 2-page spread of a crazy-looking monster. This is long, chat. We can't just scroll through the whole thing. We're stealing content here. Needs more rape to be like Berserk, I think. Oh my god, that's about Dragon Ball versus Jujutsu Kaisen Revival. So we can't do it because we'll scare off the great Elite RE. Do you think Elite RE watched my whole video yet? He's probably not even home today. Can you believe it? Your mic keeps cutting out. Well, that's not good. Was it the Sufferance manga where the word rape was on the first page? That was great. Epic if true. I'm going to unplug the mic and plug it back in. Of our issues. Now, hold on, I'm clicking on OBS. Because in OBS, it does automatically reconnect the mic. On Discord, I would have to do a whole thing. Now, let's just, make sure it did reconnect to the mic. Because, it could be talking shit. Oh my god, maybe if we click off. Imagine this microphone. This microphone's truly epic. Wait, I think I had to press OK for it to change. So I don't think that changed at all. But I'm not going to listen to it. Anyway, I caught up on chat. I looked down as if I hadn't. So we gotta watch this Griffith video instead. Do you think it's good? Now, I did watch some videos today. Oh my god, is this an ad? We can mute that and let it play in the background. I'm a genius. What did I do? I finished that Mewtwo thingy. I gave it a good because it wasn't too terrible. Then we got these watched on stream yesterday. So, well, we didn't have anything to talk about. Oh, and I did finally add the Great Ciclet video and only gave it a great. Somebody tell him, little pussy, he ain't no video of the year contender. How about you make a good video for that, huh? But anyway, he's sleeping right now. We can't make fun of him. Oh my god, Turith is here. This is Bigly. Hey, congratulations on the new vid, brother. I did make a new video. That's epic. Miller just makes fun of me for this video. After all those hours and tens and thousands of hours of work I put in, Miller the Killer makes fun of me. Did you torrent Gunbuster? Of course I did. I got a 2-in-1 package. It had both the Great and the Great Diebuster. Obviously, the Great Gunbuster we've already watched. It also had all the DVD extras, all the science lessons. Now, of course, I'm not allowed to talk about Diebuster yet, but my goodness. I'm not saying nothing. The darkest episode of Evangelion, remember when Asuka got rape worded? And by that I mean rape coded? When they defiled her mind. Now, I want to look into this fucking Evangelion shit, because me and Minty had a big conversation about it, and I he said. But it's pretty crazy. If Anno was reading these doujin websites in, 1995, and then adapted one of them into the episode, which I think is what Minty was telling me. Now, we can't get this doujin up because it's on a hentai website, but it's still out there. And it's got all the her trying to fuck Kaji stuff, and the paralleling the wanting to be held with the sex stuff. Yeah, Mike is real bad. What? I just got to do everything around here? Hold on, now I actually have to listen. Hold on, I got to put this headphone in. Elite RE made me buy this microphone. $2,000 it was. Hold on, I got to turn myself up. It sounds fine until it cuts out, right? But I guess I can't hear the cutting out. So what do we do about this? Maybe this'll fix it. We just unplugged it in the different end. There's two ends to things. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. No, I feel like we've had this issue before. Truth, you gotta tell us if the microphone's fucking up. I don't know. I could see if I left it up like this when it cuts out, I think. Unless it's after this process where OBS registers it and then it sends it out, I don't know. Miller will let us know if it keeps going on. Anyway, dojins or something, that's crazy. I wonder if you steal... So let's say we're in the law battles, chat, you know, we're in the courts. And, you know, you made a dojin, which is illegal. We don't like fan-made content. I'm going to copyright strike you like I'm Nintendo. But let's say I then steal it and put it in the next episode. Who's legally at fault? Sounds K. Well, maybe it is just Miller. Or maybe other people have low standards. Now, anyway, I have nothing to say about that. That was just a thing that popped into my mind. Who knows? There's this Lane video I can't remember if I watched, and it's not on the playlist. But we're not going to watch that. So we've got Most Hated Villain, Darkest Episode of Evangelion, LGBTQ Anime is Complicated. We've got Why Stealth Sucks. I kind of want to watch this one. And then read this comic to understand Berserk. Let's do the shitty Evangelion one quickly.
If we don't count the end of Evangelion since that was a movie, if we don't count the end of Evangelion since that was a movie, the darkest episode of Evangelion, in my opinion, is episode 22. Don't be.
Now, I feel like I'm sick. Oh, this is her trying to fuck Kaji, like we were just talking about.
I think all directors should be...
Oh my god, is this an Evangelion channel? No, this is just 3 ones. Evangelion in fashion and an analysis. All of Asuka's new outfits look terrible. We hate Asuka Shikinami here. Minecraft movie looks like trash. Oh my god, now Miller loves this account. Is Shinji Ikari gay or bi? A queer analysis of Evangelion. 2 minutes. Look at all these. Cinematography of Evangelion's freedom scene. True, Shinji's like floating formless, and then they give him a ground, and it's like crazy. Evangelion's elevator scenes and the rules of filmmaking. The Evangelion movies we never got. What's that about? The cinematography of Evangelion. Oh my god, he's got 7 videos called that. We somehow found his longest video. This is crazy. I indeed have low standards. I mean, look at who I'm watching. Yikers!
The episode opens with a flashback of Asuka and Kaji talking about them moving to Japan. Asuka expresses her love for Kaji, and Kaji rejects her advances due to her age. This shows how Asuka sees herself as a mature adult, while Kaji sees her for what she is, a child.
Oh my god, is this the most viewed video? Now we gotta open the channel again, I'm curious. I have more subscribers than this guy, I'm epic. No, we've got this cinematography one that's got more. See, I knew I should Evangelion channel. That's the last video of mine that did any good. No offense, but a little epilepsy warning would be nice. Shut up. Asuka's downfall is low-key horrifying. But then she has an upfall where she wins again. Wins bigly. Now, this is absolutely on... Why am I hearing dark sounds? This is crazy, chat. Most of the characters in the show really could use a hug. I love comments like this, man. They just need some therapy.
We then get another flashback of Asuka's childhood, where we see her at her mother's funeral after her mom ended her own life, and we see her mother
epic, and she's like, "Fuck this dumb bitch. Why is she dead?"
Talking to the doll.
I'm not a doll, idiot.
Believes is the real Asuka.
We love Asuka.
Asuka's mother's actions are explained by her research, which led to psychological damage and lots of guilt for spending time researching instead of taking care of her daughter. The flashback ends with Asuka's grandmother telling her it's okay to cry, while Asuka says she won't because
so she was like a nerve researcher, or she wasn't? I can't remember.
To care for herself now. This explains why Asuka sees herself as an adult in her teenage years. She has already cared for herself for so long.
Remember that awesome flashback episode where we see Misato and she's like 6 and she hasn't spoken yet because she's fucking traumatized and stuff? That was epic. She's just in a room like a little test subject.
So much. We cut to Asuka in the present, testing her sync rate with Ava Unit 2, where we learn it's lower than normal from Dr. Akagi, who tells Asuka to...
And then they try to put that Karu in her machine, and that's
still,
not
Asuka's
cool.
presumably thinking about the flashbacks we have been seeing. I'm going to skip past plot developments with Misato since they're unrelated to the darkness of the episode and Asuka's main plot, which I think is the reason the episode is so dark. But
oh my god, he stole my idea. He's making a video about every episode.
Point, Misato knows Nerve is evil and killed Kaji, as well as the truth about the Ava units being angels, and she's investigating. We then see Asuka trying to call Kaji, only to learn that the line has been disconnected due to his death. She sees Shinji and Rei on the other side of the train tracks talking. Asuka says her feelings, that Shinji was trapped in his Ava for a whole month, but now he's back like nothing happened. She feels envious of his position because she is getting all the shit for her low sync rate. At dinner, Asuka finishes early and is told to answer the phone by Misato. When Asuka says it's probably Kaji from Misato, Misato says that's not likely. Shinji answers the phone, and Asuka belittles him by saying that he went so low to answer the phone after being
He just does everything he's told, this little pussy.
Invincible in the Ava. The call is for Asuka though, so Shinji gives her the phone.
Oh, it's her fake mom. This is epic.
She takes the phone and talks in German to her stepmother. Shinji talks to Asuka about family, and as Asuka starts venting about her stepmother isn't her real mother and that family is overrated, she stops and screams at Shinji because she doesn't think Shinji should hear her venting. After all, she thinks he is a loser, and she doesn't want his sympathy. Asuka then freaks out in the bathroom because she hates everyone and doesn't want to use the same bathwater or dryer Shinji and Misato use. She then realizes most of all that she hates herself, leading to a bigger freakout, and that she doesn't want to go through everything she has so far in life. Back to the Eva sync rate tests, Asuka's score is even lower. Dr. Akagi thinks that Unit 2 may need a new pilot. We see Asuka in the bathroom feeling pain due to her period. She doesn't understand why she has to go through this. We then get the elevator scene, which I have a whole video on breaking down the cinematography, which you should watch after this video. Ray tells Asuka she needs to open her mind to the Eva, which leads
Ray thinks she knows everything.
to Asuka freaking out more when Ray says Evas are more than just big toys. Asuka screams that the invincible Shinji will take both their places and that they won't be important anymore. Asuka calls Ray a doll because Ray is being sympathetic towards her. Ray says she is not a doll.
I'm not a doll, and she's gonna slap him.
But also says
and then she's gonna kill Gendo when he says that to her.
Kill herself if commanded to, which leads to Asuka slapping her, freaking out more, and telling Ray that she hates everyone. Asuka talks to Unit 2, telling Unit 2 to obey her orders, but after getting no response, claims it's stupid. Then the alarm goes on due to an incoming angel attack, the 15th angel. Now you might be thinking, this episode hasn't been that dark yet. Well, it's about to get a whole lot darker. After being told to back up Unit 0 and Ray, Asuka launches Unit 2 so she can attack the angel by herself. Dr. Akagi says if Asuka screws up, she will be replaced. Asuka knows this though. She points her rifle at Ariel, but Ariel attacks first with a particle beam, leading to incoming mental
They're gonna sing that song?
contamination for Asuka. As Asuka's mind is attacked, she fires her rifle, missing every shot. Asuka screams in agony as the angel starts entering her mind. Dr. Akagi says her mind will be permanently damaged if she doesn't retreat, but when Masato tells Asuka to, she rejects it, saying she'd rather die. Ray tries to shoot Ariel, but the AT field cannot be penetrated due to the distance. Alright, now for the darkness. Inside Asuka's mind, we see a child Asuka crying, and Asuka asks why she is crying. Child Asuka
Now this is some truly epic recap, don't we all agree?
Open, and when asked why she did it, it's because she didn't need a toy since she grew up so fast. Asuka screams that she is forced to remember her mom's suicide and her mom's idea that they should die together, though she was talking to the doll she treated as her daughter instead of actually Asuka. We see the doll hanging by a noose. We hear her mom ask, "Who are you?" to Asuka, as she was speaking to the doll. We then get Asuka's introduction of herself with different moments of her life, but she claims this isn't the real her. This repeats and repeats to further mentally break her. We then see Asuka walk past train tracks. She walks towards who she presumes is Kaji. She's all of a
I
sudden
always
walking
forget about this scene.
in the opposite direction
It
of
feels like it's from something else. It feels like it's like a lane scene.
a horde
or
of hooded
something.
figures who push her away. When the hood comes down, it's revealed they are all her. Asuka hears Kaji say she's just a child again, but Shinji is with him. She screams at Shinji because he won't help her or hold her or do anything for her. Child Asuka screams, "Why won't you look at me?" Child Asuka then asks a strict present Asuka if she's lonely and alone. Asuka rejects the child version of herself, and she turns into stuffing and then the doll she destroyed as a child. She then claims she will live and die alone, and that she won't rely on anyone, and that she can live on her own. Child Asuka tells her she's lying, and Asuka screams now. Back in the Eva, outside her mind, she says her mind is being eaten away, that her mind is unraveling and being defiled. Then Eva Unit 2 shuts down. Ray is commanded by Akari to get the Spear of Longinus to kill the angel, which makes Masato realize that an Eva and Adam can come into contact without causing the third impact, meaning she has been lied to. Ray gets the spear and throws it, piercing Ariel's AT field and destroying Ariel. They lose the spear in the process. They decide to quarantine Asuka due to the contamination, but before this, Shinji talks to Asuka, telling her he's glad she's okay. But Asuka is not okay, and screams at Shinji that she isn't, because Ray saved her, and that she hates everyone and everything. The episode ends on that note. So why is this the darkest episode of Evangelion in my opinion?
We've got 20 seconds to make a point, chat. This is gonna be epic.
Well, I think the scene inside Asuka's mind takes the cake for the darkest scene in the show proper, not counting End of Evangelion. She, as a victim of trauma, is forced to relive that trauma over and over until she's mentally broken. And as we know from what comes after this was the last straw for Asuka, as after this she falls into a deep depression and we don't see her fight again until the end of Evangelion, where her fate is nothing good.
Their fate was pretty good. She beat him up, and she had a little, nice moment, and then she lived at the end. Because she had that moment. So, Asuka stays winning. This guy, not so much, you know? We love recap here. We love exclusive recap. We love making a short video where we're all very excited, but then it ends up being entirely recap. It was inoffensive. It gets an okay. Okie dokie. Stealth, chat. Stealth sucks. We're going to find out all about it. I'm excited. Now, 13,000 subs. More subs than me. We hate that. Now, is this going to be a truly epic video? Oh my god, we didn't get spoiled on his voice. What if your favorite game was a 90s classic? The great Crash Bandicoot, the great Pokemon Red and Blue and Gold and Silver, but not Crystal, that was 2000. Your favorite games are being deleted. True. Nobody cares about Hi-Fi Rush. We're going to shut that studio down. PAX Games, that blew my mind. Oh my god, he's a journalist. The Scuffed Game Awards 2, the future of open world games. So we're talking about the big issues here. The marketing campaign that destroyed a franchise. Now, you can't be destroying franchises, but things can be introduced through marketing. I got a video about that. Ubisoft is dying. Somehow I don't think that's true. The new Cuphead sucks. Not the new Cuphead. I could play Cuphead, you know. It'd be pretty fun. I saw trailers for that shooter Cuphead game where it has the art style of Cuphead, but it's like a detective shooter. That sound epic. But anyway. Oh my god, Nakey Jakey just made a video about this. Is this going to reference that Nakey Jakey video? I don't in the fucking video. I just wanted to see how many Naked Jakey videos I was behind. Returning to Red Dead Redemption, Bethesda, NPC. I haven't seen any of these. I don't even know if I've seen crappy technology. Though I feel like maybe we watched that on stream. Maybe we watched both of those. I actually have no idea. Anyway, it sucks apparently. Popcorn movie, a film that's perceived as entertaining but lacking any depth or artistic merit. Uh-oh.
Robot. You know, like a super advanced robot. It's probably Japanese.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away, what are you?
True, we hate the Avengers. We hate stealth. Is this the right Ghost of Tsushima?
This is Popcorn
Oh my god. It is Naked Jakey.
stealth. It's baby's first stealth experience. It's stealth as a style more than as a gripping mechanic. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, and Ghost of Tsushima is far...
Oh my god, it was Ghost of Tsushima. I'm a genius. Now, what does the internet hardcore gamer sect that this is coming out of good stealth is? We got Metal Gear Solid. They probably like that. We don't like Far Cry stealth. That's bad, because that's like pop stealth, like how we're talking about here. Ghost of Tsushima is like that too. Last of Us is like that too. Uncharted stealth is like that too. Is stealth only in Uncharted 2 onwards? I know it's in Uncharted 2 because you got to stealth the museum guards at the beginning. Is there a point in Uncharted 1 where you can stealth? I don't think so. I think everything just like somebody shoots at you and then you got to duck and shoot back. But anyway, there was stealth in Horizon, I'm pretty sure. List on the games I played. Batman stealth good, but don't these people hate Batman? Like, isn't it like the peak of terrible gameplay? Like you just button mash or something? Isn't that what?
From the only game that does this, it just so happens to be the one that I'm playing right now, but I don't think it's unfair to say that this isn't exactly the purest representation of what it's like to be a ninja assassin. This, and games like this, are distilled...
So are we going from the angle of this isn't how stealth would actually go? Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's a little retarded. Stealth in Uncharted lasts for 2 kills tops. Doing stealth in any video.
Streamlined, you can even argue gimmicky version of stealth, where enemies are 50 shades of stupid, they're all turned away at exactly the right angle to leave
What video game is this?
massive blind spots
No, Dishonored is first person.
for you to easily maneuver through, and failure to maintain
Oh, I think that was just Assassin's Creed, huh?
stealth is usually met with just a shrug from both the game and the player, because, you know what, the head-on combat is more fun anyways. The issue is, popcorn stealth is just about the only version of the genre still kicking. If we're talking about the last 5 to 8 years of gaming, stealth is either watered down and put into games that lean
True, The Last of Us. Is that God of... No, that's Assassin's Creed. It's like,
Way
does
harder
God of War have stealth?
action, is not popular at all, or is Hitman.
Remember, I played like 3 seconds of Thief. I think, have I ever played Hitman? I don't think so. I don't know what Alpha Protocol is.
So why is that? Did developers give up on stealth? Did players lose interest? Are there fundamental aspects of stealth that just clash with most modern gaming conventions? And most
Sly
importantly,
Cooper?
is it still possible to make good, fleshed out stealth experiences? Or does stealth need to suck to survive? And before you say,
True.
yeah, I know Naked Jakey just made a video about this, but this was written
Oh, that's what I just said, Chad. I'm a genius.
before that one, and I talk about different things, and he's a criminal, he stole it from me, and I heard his breath smells, and he hasn't cut his toenails in some weeks, so you tell me who you trust.
True. Did I add that last video to this? I did. You gotta keep track of them, chat. What do you think we're doing?
The
this for
dedicated
fun?
stealth genre has basically been a barren wasteland in recent years. Classic stealth franchises like Thief and Splinter Cell have just been excommunicated from existence, and you might be saying, what about Dishonored, or Metal Gear Solid, or even Deus Ex?
I did say both those things, not Deus Ex.
But the last Dishonored game was 8 years ago. The last Deus
I have both Dishonored games, chat.
Ex game was also 8 years ago, the last Metal Gear Solid game was 9 years ago, and the last Hollow Knight game was 7 years ago. That has nothing to do with this conversation, it just makes me sad.
I was gonna say, chat.
Since the
but it was
mini
a
stealth
bit.
renaissance in the mid-2010s, we've only had a couple of Sniper Elite games and the Hitman franchise. That's really it, at least in the
I played Sniper Elite 3 or 4, or whichever one came out on the PS4. There's probably 2 of them. For like an hour.
AAA space. Everything else you could
I don't remember stealthing
very
too much
easily
of it,
argue
though.
has stealth as a secondary focus. Secondary in the marketing, secondary in the
I guess maybe you were shooting things from a long way away, right? I guess.
attention given to the skill trees and abilities, secondary in the amount of time in-game with this gameplay loop, secondary in polish, and secondary in quality control. Now, if we're talking outside of AAA, a huge force in the modern stealth era was Me Games. Me were the people behind Shadow Tactics, Desperados, and their newest game, Shadow Gambit. It was just a team that refined their craft with each entry, and they really kept the genre alive.
Don't little indie games just look so cool, chat?
And they were shut down 10 days after their most recent game came out. Now, in fair...
Well, now they can't make money. Now, you know, we all learned on Elite RE stream that 900% of video games on PC are pirated, so that was crazy. But what video game am I going to play on the PC next, chat? You know, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters Coliseum Libra mod again because I'm a disgusting person and I just want to play the same games over and over again until I die. Then there's the great, what's the stupid zombie game? The Horde one. That's a base builder that Destiny played for a little while. I downloaded that again. I have those Telling Lies, the narrative little investigative games. Her Story, what a video game. Those I want to play, but we need a gameplay game, you know? But anyway, Last of Us Stealth is primarily ways of playing. What is he talking about? It's been so long since I actually played. But I feel like in every Last of Us encounter, I try to stealth and then just shoot people. Because I get impatient. And I feel like that's got to be 90% of people's thingy. Like, they just get impatient, so stealth is just something you pretend to try at the beginning and then have fun. But, there's certainly, like, you can... The Last of Us is a more fleshed out stealth system than, like, Uncharted or something, where you actually feasibly could stealth the whole thing. I don't know, in, like, every Last of Us thing, unless you're completely incompetent, you're at least killing the first guy or girl through stealth, so, yeah. No way, like, 80% of the encounter is stealth most of the time. Well, it starts that way. But I guess it just depends how...
fairness, the cited reason for this isn't that the games were selling poorly. It was more of a, these games are very stressful to make and we're tired of the whole process kind of situation. But...
oh, they weren't not making
if the
money.
games had been selling well, this probably doesn't happen. The truth is, stealth today is a supplemental part of games. It's a way to diversify a gameplay loop and add a bit of depth to the moment-to-moment activities, but not...
True, we're shitting on Batman, Miller. Get mad. You're screwed with ammo if you don't stealth most of it. Yeah, I guess. I feel like, because I have tried to like, The Last of Us Part 1 I've tried to replay a bunch of times and gotten pretty far in most of them. I've never actually done it twice, I don't think. I think I was helping my brother play it and he got up to the hospital again. I don't remember. The point of that was, like, that's true on your first playthrough of The Last of Us every time, but every time I would redo it, even if I was on the hardest difficulty, which I try to do a bunch of times, and, like, the resources are more scant, you just, for whatever reason, every time on the second time through, you have 1,000,000 bullets every time. But that is kind of true the first one. I remember the first time through the first game and being at the hospital and having, like, the save state had, like, 5 handgun bullets, and that was it. And it's like you had to figure out how to kill the guy to get the machine gun, and then figure it out from there. That was pretty fun. But, yeah.
Many
press and
studios
play,
are both
chat.
willing and able to let it stand on its own. I think So Says Jay said it best in his video about stealth games.
Stealth is no longer a genre.
Alright, chat, it's time for a thingy. Do we like referencing other videos in videos? Kinda, right? Should I do this more? It's really, well, you could just say the whole last video I made was just references to other videos because, you know, we were just jerking off kind of funny the whole time. You would have to be in, like, I'm just looking here because I saw the fucking stupid 5-hour Attack on Titan video here. In a video where I'm like, let's figure out Attack on Titan, what the fuck it's trying to say thematically. It could be cool to, like, reference a bunch of different videos where you're like, well, Alexander's conclusion over here was this, and this idiot, Sailor Clout, you know, he said this, and, you know, this fella over here said this. I feel like it's better if you're trying to make actual arguments, but as we know, you can't make arguments about media, chat. Let's not get ridiculous out here. So, I don't know. I feel like at some point I really wanted to do this a lot, and it just fell away from me. Probably because I wasn't making any videos at the time. But as you know, chat, I'm a great video maker now. I make videos like once a month. So, Craftsdorf had that good video that was like that, remember? But he was shitting on videos. Now, that's always a fun idea. But I don't know if I would ever make a video dedicated to just shitting on other people's videos. Now, if we were going to do something like that, The Great Last of Us Part 2 would be a great little thingy, because people say stupid shit about that game all the time. Attack on Titan's pretty like that a lot, too. So is Berserk. You could have a video concept where it's like, the bar for Berserk content is in hell. Destiny says that all the time. It's starting to piss me off, but I just said it because I thought it was funny. Because as if you got that, I also thought it was cringe, and you just understand it inherently. You know, I'm a little wacky like that, chat. A little avant-garde in my humor. Berserk videos are bad, right? I don't know. Anyway.
Genre.
On its own. I think So
Stealth
Says
is
Jay
no
said it
longer
best
a
in his video about stealth.
Hold on, let me predict the quote. We're doing more Destiny bits here. Stealth is no longer a genre. It's a thing on a checklist that you have to put in your game to make it popular.
Stealth games.
Stealth is no longer a genre. It is a feature.
I'd swear I was gonna say feature.
And not only is it just a feature, it's usually a very stripped down one. Whether we're talking about Assassin's Creed, The Last of Us, Far Cry, or Tomb Raider, we're constantly being...
Far Cry, we love Far Cry. Oh, we gotta play Tomb Raider, that's gonna be epic. I'm also in a position, chat, where my computer monitor is like 4K, or whatever, it's insane. But my TV is capped at 180p. But buying like a 4K... Does it have to be 4K? Just... Good TV. How much do these things cost? Is this going to give me like doxed? This is a smart TV for only $200. Now that's crazy, chat. Because I'll buy this. I don't give a fuck. But like, is this going to make my PS5 games look good? Because my TV now is just an old TV we probably got like 10 years ago. It's a flat screen, chat. You know, I'm pretty epic. I got a flat screen. But it doesn't get used for much. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I was like, oh, let's play Tomb Raider. But like, I want it to look pretty on my screen. But it probably looks pretty enough on the fucking 180p, 1080p or whatever. That's a 32-inch. Is that a lot? I've only got a small room. It can't be big. I feel like 32 inches. Hold on, let me think. Penis. 12 inches. So it's like 3 of my penises. Actually, that would be less. Now, I'm trying to figure out what mine is. Not my penis, chat. But anyway, I also saw Elite RE was here. I need a small TV. But my point is, like, I don't want to plug the PC into my monitor. I can't play video games on a monitor. I gotta play them on a cool TV. But anyway. So I guess I would always get a small one, so it would be good. Now, this is what I'm scared of, chat. This thing here. Now, I'm pretty sure that's how much they pay for the TV we got in the living room. They always got a good TV in the living room, chat, because we gotta watch sports on it. And we gotta make it look good. Except these fucking idiots, chat, these parents of mine, actually don't see. Like, they'll just play the live, like, because you know Channel 9, it's in, like, 240p or something, unironically. Unless you go to the Channel 9 HD thing, that's probably in 100 or 1080p or something. But they'll just be watching it, and they won't even notice the difference. Like, I'll switch it between, like, or even on the Fox Footy or whatever, where it's literally got a 4K option. And I'll click 4K, and then I'll go back to, like, the 480p unironic thing, and they'll be like, there's no difference between these two, what are you looking at? So anyway, aspect ratios are just things you've noticed, and we've all cursed ourselves into noticing them. So this one's 4K, and it's little, and it's only $400. You know, I'm not going to spend $400 on this thing. You think I could get it back on tax or something? That's 50 inches or something. We only need this one. So I could get a good TV for cheap. Thankfully, we figured this out. Costs less than this fucking $7,000 microphone Elite RE made me buy. Now anyway, Elite RE's here. What's he saying? Buy an iPad, kill yourself. I'm not an iPad kid. I did have an iPad for a little while, but then it broke. And then I just had a phone anyway, so I was like, what the fuck do I need this shitty iPad for? Now, you can't play PS5 on your monitor, question mark? Well, I don't want to, CeeLo Pilled. It's not his birthday anymore, chat. We don't have to be nice to CeeLo Pilled. My parents do the exact same thing. It's true. It's true. They're stupid. But anyway, I want to make The Last of Us Part 2 remastered that I forgot I bought. Look, 4K. Is that the highest it goes, chat? What's the other one that Tim is talking about in his stupid, like, at-home theater he has that he definitely can't afford? Where he's like, HDR. Or is that when it stops you from screen recording? What's the one where it makes it look super good? Like that Horizon 2 footage I saw that was insane. Anyway.
served
Stealth
the
sucks.
old-fashioned plain donut version of stealth.
Oh my god.
And not
plain
only is it
donuts.
just a feature, it's usually a very stripped-down one. Whether we're talking about Assassin's Creed, The Last of Us, Far Cry, or Tomb Raider, we're constantly being served the old-fashioned plain donut version of stealth. Patrol routes either don't exist or only a couple of enemies in a scenario have them. You can practically run full sprint behind an enemy and assassinate them before they're fully alerted to your position. Everyone is vigilantly observing the walls instead of maybe, I don't know, the giant open spaces where somebody might be walking through. And even if an enemy does see a dead body, they react by running over slowly, gyrating their head around a little bit, alerting some of the others, being on high alert for a while, which really means they're not more careful, they don't react faster, and they don't check hiding spots more frequently, they just kind of walk around a little bit. And then
Notice how this cuck coward has not put any Last of Us 2 footage, because this is not how they act, and if you watch the great Grounded 2 documentary, you would know this.
go back to their post again 30 seconds later,
They'll
completely
scream a name, and then they'll stay on alert.
forgetting that anything even happened. Or better yet, yell out,
There's something over there.
and then just walk the other way.
Yeah.
Even the animations have gotten lazier. Half the time in the new Assassin's Creed games, you're just awkwardly stabbing people in the ass until they collapse like a bag of sand. That's the modern stealth experience. It's immensely forgiving, and it does everything in its power to make sure that you don't slow down, even though sneaking around is an inherently slow activity. Stealth in these games is not much more than a fun, quick side activity that can be
I've got another video thing to talk about, chat. How do we feel about generalizations like this? Because I think we all understand what this fella over here is talking about. And it's probably true. Something like this is something people would say on a podcast. You know, I can see the great Colin Moriarty saying this or something. It would probably be Chris Raygun, you know. But anyway, they'd be yapping, you know, stealth in these games, you know, it's always the same. And it is these things. Like, we all understand these things. And I'm sure there are actual stealth games where it's much more fleshed out and stuff. But, you know, I'm just picturing, you know, Elite RE, he's sitting here watching this video, you know, he's like, that's not true, and that's not true. And he nitpicks, like I was just with the Last of Us 2 example. But there is a central point here. But the central point might be fake, but it might still be useful. You know, maybe this conglomeration, maybe each one of these stealth things we're lopping together are a little different if you really went in with the best, most good faith analysis of each individual game, and you'd be like, well, this game does this different, and this game does this different. But I still think there is value in the general point being made. And, you know, even if it's wrong sometimes. And that's something we should keep in mind when we're listening to Elite RE say silly things, you know? Heath is here, you're mirroring it.
to thin the herd, and it's often engaged with recklessly because, one, you can get away with that most of the time, and two, if you don't get away with it, you can just start slamming your sword into people's skulls, even better. It's really doing everything in its power to not be taken seriously. The only major stealth game in recent years where breaking stealth feels like you're doing something wrong is Hitman, and even then, you still have the option to go a little louder if you want. In this case, Hitman naturally rewards stealth approaches by making non-stealth ones seem kind of messy, firefights seem clunky, and just giving you so many options for stealth that full action just seems dumb. And we'll talk a little bit more in a second about how certain design principles can unsuck modern stealth. But first, I want to talk about why the industry might be shying away from this, and how a huge part of it might be psychological.
I'll never sleep without loop earplugs again.
They're my ticket to
Headphones in. I don't need that product.
A lot of what makes a game enjoyable to play comes down to rewards. If you do a thing successfully, you will get a reward
True,
of some
like cookie clicker.
kind, whether it's tangible, like new gear or more currency, or something intangible, like progressing to the next story beat, or finally beating an enemy that's been a major roadblock. Games are built off of positive and negative reinforcement, getting something good or having something annoying taken away as a result of good actions. And that encourages
Yandere Simulator has great stealth. I remember the great Yandere Simulator because it was featured in the lyric videos to the Denzel Curry Taboo album.
the player to do more
Back in
good
2018.
things. This is really easy to set up in something like an action game because on top of the regular reward systems, every enemy you defeat is getting you closer to success until you clear out a full area and hit 100% success. You can also imagine things like taking damage as a minor setback throughout this whole process, which makes trying to get to your success point really engaging. But stealth works differently. This is how I like to look at it. When you're in an action game, in a combat scenario, the easiest way that you can define your goal is beat everybody up. Given that's the definition of success here, you start at 0% success because you haven't done anything yet, and you end at 100% success if things go well. There's very clear and positively trending progression in every encounter. But in a stealth game, the clearest way you can define your goal is don't be seen. Of course, you have like other actual concrete goals in both experiences, but in terms of the antagonistic forces of the game, and
Remember in the great Madagascar on PS2 when you had to stealth out of the zoo at the beginning? Now that was difficult.
your relation to them, your goal is do not be seen by these people, whether by killing them stealthily or just avoiding their gaze altogether. Given that definition, you technically start with 100% success, and then if you make any mistake, barring the maybe 1 second of leeway you get when being detected by enemies, you will move down to 0% success instantly. This is like getting a gold star for every good thing you do, and this is like if a teacher gave everyone a gold star as they walked into class, and then if you miscategorize a simile as a metaphor, they rip the star clean off your forehead and call you a
getting things rather than losing something.
Dumbass. And yes, obviously you could argue that killing people in a stealth game is also a form of progress, just like it is in an action game, which is technically true, but I'd say you're still only handling half of the equation here. The challenge is still not to be seen. People view being caught in a stealth game as just an automatic failure in a way that you just don't think of when you take damage in an action game. And part of that is that in some games, it is an automatic fail state, or considering how hopeless you are outside of combat,
True,
it might as well.
if those police zoo guards found you in Madagascar on the PS2, you had to restart the whole level. I was very mad about it.
And in the games that don't do that, there's probably a challenge for each level that pushes you not to be seen. Even though there are plenty of stealth-oriented games where you can get away with constantly being detected, it undeniably feels wrong doing that, which can make completing sections less satisfying because there's always a caveat that the game is all too eager to remind you of. Stealth games also delay gratification, and there have been multiple studies on how immediate rewards and positive reinforcement gives people more motivation, whereas punishment for bad performance or delayed rewards, which only come after a sequence of good actions, can build up stress and frustration. Chances are, you probably don't want to be stressed out playing video games, and if you do, you probably want to be able to do something actionable about it, like, you know, fighting. But if your stress and brain power hinges on things like planning your moves and looking at all the different routes and enemy locations, it's much easier to lose patience, rush into things, and usually get caught doing so. That's why all these popcorn stealth games are so linear and simplified when it comes to enemy position. It's very carefully constructed to make it as easy as humanly possible to stealth around everywhere, while still at least slightly making you feel like you're sneaking up and killing people like a ninja. It's basically a stealth set piece. If they did anything more inspired than this, especially in a game where action is heavily marketed, a large chunk of the casual player base would get incredibly frustrated in these sections. But the thing is, stealth is still really fun when it's done correctly. People love Splinter Cell, they love the old Thief games, they love MGS5. The Dishonored games are modern classics. It's not like this
Splinter Cell gameplay.
People love Splinter Cell, they love the old Thief games, they love MGS5. The Dishonored games
probably hard to get, that's why it's all new games.
Are modern classics. It's not like this stuff is never fun or engaging despite all the things I just mentioned. So what changed in the last 10 years? Maybe it was the rise of multitasking while gaming, an increasing number of people listen to podcasts or watch TV while playing games, and that could hurt the stealth genre a little bit more than less thoughtful experiences. Because it's a lot easier to dump your brain out and play Devil May Cry while listening to a podcast than it is to plan a 17-move sequence in Desperados. Also, attention spans are shorter, demanding faster reward loops and marketing that builds on the expectation of fast-paced combat. But more than just...
Do you think attention spans are shorter? This is something we say all the time. But like, if it's attention spans ever been good? Like, let me think. When I'm watching The Great Fleabag today, because, you know, it's so epic and stuff in Season 2, I'm not really thinking about anything else because I'm engaged. I guess the argument would be it takes more to engage somebody nowadays, and that's, like, attention span. Because the thing is, why do we listen to stuff while we play games when we were a kid, we didn't listen to stuff and play games? Now, that's not necessarily true, because I used to put a movie on and then play Pokemon Fire Red ROMs on my laptop. That's how I would watch the Smurfs movie and other movies like that. That's why sometimes I say I'm pretty sure I've seen Thor, because Thor was on in the background while I was playing Pokemon Fire Red. But I guess I'm the generation where the what do you call it? The attention spans dissipated. But it's probably just because of options, right? Like, people have probably always been... Like, you can only really think about, like, one thing at once. I don't know. I feel like the last 4 videos you've watched mentioned short attention span TikTok thing. That's just something people say where it's like, that's just like old times good, new times bad, talking point 101. Back in my day, you know, we used to do a thing. We used to watch a movie without going on our phones, on my fucking telephone. You know? Every generation says this right. There are just more things to do that can get your attention. True. It's an attention economy.
Just these
TikTok's winning.
Uncontrollable factors in player behavior, I think the evolution of gaming in general has basically Darwined these things out of existence. Because what's expected of a modern game and how they've basically conditioned us to...
It's just niche, right? I guess. Now, it's hard to say, like, what are in games and what are, like... Because there's, like, a different argument is, like, well, these certain things, like, rewarding things, like he's saying, where it's like, oh, you know, it feels good to shoot somebody, so you shoot a lot of people and you feel good, and that's why you keep playing. And we're saying stealth is less rewarding in the... Or real stealth is less rewarding in the immediate sense. So have video games always been like this? Because we're also trying to do like a... Well, it's changed. It's possible things just went out of trend, right? But trends probably lead to the next trend. I don't know. I don't know how reality works.
To think has made it almost impossible to make a stealth game that has a wide appeal. Wait, just kidding. Section 2.5 here, really quick announcement. I just started a new channel. What better way to hardly keep up with one channel than to make another one? It's called Video Essay Speedruns. It's basically just a place for me to do shorter content and talk about literally anything, not just bigger topics. I have a video on there right now about video game crossovers. Check it out after this one. I'll link to it in the description and remind you at the end. So you better subscribe. Okay, back to the video. Over the years, one of the biggest things that players have demanded and games have catered to is the idea of control, whether it's real control or the illusion of it. Players want more control over who they are, what they wear, what abilities they have, which skills they want to prioritize, which order to tackle things, which faction they want to swear their allegiance to, who they want to bone, what they want to say. Not every game will let you do all of this, but the most popular ones try to at least fool you into thinking that you have a ton of control.
Is this true at all? You've got... Well, I guess I was going to say you have no control over those things in Pokemon, but you've got, you get to choose a team, right? And I guess there's like tiny bits of character customization. But there's no like choices in the narrative or whatever. I feel like this is a very small subsection of games. I guess like the thing about Elden Ring is you can do anything in whatever order, right? And that's the thing with the new Zelda games. But then there's obviously like The Last of Us, which is all about you having no choice. But again, this subsection of the internet really doesn't like Naughty Dog games because of that. So.
Problem for stealth games in a few different ways. The most obvious one is if you want stealth to be worth something, you can't just reward the player for breaking it and engaging head-on, which instantly makes the player feel like they have less options and less power. This is why I feel like a lot of games have basically just caved on this and made action in stealth games a lot more fun than the stealth itself. The next issue is that stealth is reliant on the line of sight of multiple agents at the same time, and your own limited line of sight creates a problem where you might try and engage with an enemy only for some dickhead on a tower you didn't even know was there to see you and raise the alarm. You can't actually see where all the sources of danger are, which makes you feel like you have limited control, which leads to a lot of trial and error tactics and save scumming, aka constantly saving throughout an encounter, even every few seconds. An early response to this, especially for games where stealth was less of an actual focus and more of a feature, was listening mode, where you could just hear through the walls to see exactly where enemies were and which ways they were headed. A feature that flipped the problem all the way in the other direction and potentially gave players too much control. It basically just turned on a god mode and all but played this section for you, and you didn't even need to do anything to earn it. The middle ground nowadays seems to be scouting and tagging. You can scope out an area first, tag enemies, and then you're able to keep tabs on them while you're in the base. It's not a perfect solution, but it at least gives you some control and a reward for at least a basic level of planning. But because these solutions make it really easy to know where everything is at all times, it basically conditioned players over the years to always expect some form of tracking enemies behind walls and buildings, which can trivialize some of the challenge. But if you don't have this, the players feel like something is missing. It's a bit of a lose-lose. Then there's kind of the finicky nature of scaling enemies and player progression. In an action game, your enemies get more powerful as you go on. They get more health, or there's more of them, or there's like a mini-boss tossed in there, whatever. But you get more powerful as a counter to that. Getting more powerful over time means you're constantly being given rewards, but the game isn't trivialized in the process because enemy encounters are also getting harder. This whole system is also harder in stealth because how exactly do you make enemies harder? If you do it by just like giving them larger view cones, that can mess with the player's natural understanding of how far enemies should be able to see in video games, so that's usually no good.
I mean, this is only in a certain subsector games too, right? If you're doing like a puzzle game or something, you don't get stronger, the puzzles just get more difficult.
If you increase difficulty by making enemies impervious to some of your abilities, that minimizes control once again, and is usually a point of frustration. There's a reason imperviousness is hardly ever a thing in modern video games. And if you want to make it more difficult by setting up intricately placed enemies in the later stages of the game, where everyone has 2 to 3 people watching their back and is constantly pacing around trying to find you, even with more powerful characters by the end of it, it can increase the trial and error and minimize the control by making it seem like there's only one correct way to tackle this obstacle course. The best stealth games still take a stab at trying to create a solid progression system, but I've always found that the final stages of most stealth games can be a lot more frustrating than it is fun. No matter which way you slice it, stealth games are fighting an uphill battle against what is expected of a modern video game. It's fighting against the expectation that the last 15 years of gaming have been slowly introducing, and most of all, the expectation that every single game should always plan around the failure of stealth, not its success. Let's take a game like The Last of Us, where stealth is a way to save
we were talking about this earlier.
and minimize your time being...
There are just... Oh, I already read that one. When things get serious, you have to tab over and pause Kyle or RE and lock in anyway. Oh, I see.
Chased or shot at, but if shit hits the fan, now you're really in the thick of the action gameplay. Every single encounter is built off the idea that if a player fails stealth, they not only have an
alternative. Is this original PS3 Last of Us? This is crazy.
But a very fun alternative.
You never
in the
see
Arkham
this?
games, some sections feature spread out gunmen who shoot at you if you break stealth, so you can't just jump into the action like you normally would. But the game does equip you with smoke bombs, vents, and perches to swing off of until the enemy eventually loses sight of you. You still technically have to stealth in these sections, but if you fail that, it's incredibly easy to brush it off and reset, minimizing the impact of being seen. Even a predominantly stealth game will usually succeed by giving you viable action gameplay if you fail to stealth. In fact, when a game like Origami came along and it didn't have enjoyable or viable combat options, a good chunk of people complained about that, leading to them fleshing out the combat a little bit more in the sequel. These games are all designed around making stealth feel less vital, so you don't feel as bad when you break it. But that doesn't mean that you can't create killer stealth experiences, and I actually think that there are some upcoming stealth games that have the potential to breathe new life into a bit of a dying genre.
Oh my god, now we get to get hyped on all these games we're gonna play soon. This is gonna be epic.
Something really bad happened.
Mark of the Ninja and Desperados are two of my favorite pure stealth experiences, and both of them put focus on stealth by making any other approach entirely unreliable. Your character's armor is basically made of wet tissue paper, so if you mess up stealth, you pay for it. Engaging head-on or being spotted is very thoroughly discouraged. And while they're pretty different games, I do think they both benefit from being 2D, because they have so much more control over what you see and how it frames enemies, which can remove the problem of never knowing what's in your periphery. Even though both of these games, especially Mark of the Ninja, aren't exactly new, I think the indie space is where the stealth genre can thrive in its most purest form, although whether people actually
Neither of these games look too appealing.
want that or not is another question, because none of these incredibly made indie stealth games have sold all that well. As far as AAA or 3D games go, I do think there's some merit to the power fantasy stealth games, you know, the snappier, faster, more fluid stealth systems where you always have a number of ranged options to speed things up. You can jump assassinate, chain assassinate, whistle, or throw rocks to get enemies out of place. All these things that let you cruise through a battlefield effortlessly. It's all done to tackle some of the inherent problems with the concept of stealth and almost make you feel like you're playing as a legend. As almost a retelling of something that actually happened, where people describe this unseen ghost assassin who ripped through armies without ever being seen. And yeah, there's a level of catharsis you can reach with that, but also, if enemies are always donut-brained and half the time you can't even be bothered to create a more complex scenario than two people standing next to each other, it just makes the experience feel cheap. I hope some of these games provide more options for stealth approaches, because the more options you have as a player, the more complex the scenario can be while maintaining a level of balance. Because yeah, it's true that the powers in Dishonored make combat fun, which can lessen the impact of being spotted, but they also make the stealth fun enough to give a real shot in the first place. Teleport, bend time, create a doppelganger, make enemies disappear on death. These let you tackle an encounter in a dozen different ways and open up more routes for you to be able to sneak through places. And things like being able to quickly teleport to somewhere and then teleport out just as quickly can speed up stealth in a more natural way than just painfully stupid, unaware, and unfocused enemy AI. The original Ghost of Tsushima kind of played around with some supernatural elements, and I really hope that they lean further into that for the sequel, because being able to have these kinds of abilities for that game in the future would be like really sick. I would love that. Of course, this is always paired best with intricate and layered level design that can be tackled in different ways, and
I was thinking about the other day. I think that they are confirmed. Sucker Punch, the old Sucker Punch, confirmed working on Ghost of Tsushima.
Unfortunately, you just can't always do that.
I think I just got that answered.
For a game like Ghost, which is not only an open world,
I leave to have dinner and come back and this video is still going. It's nearly
where
done.
most combat encounters take place in simple camps, but level design for a game that prioritizes combat and a game that prioritizes stealth are generally pretty different. So if you want to give the player the option to do either at any time, you're probably going to end up with something pretty stripped down. But while it might not hit the stealth heights of a game like Dishonored, it can still become more dynamic than we got in the first iteration. I'm also just a little bit hopeful that Assassin's Creed Shadows can be a step in the right direction for stealth. They've created two distinct characters, and one of them really commits to a sneaky playstyle with worse armor, mediocre full-blown combat options, and then just a ton of ways to take down enemies from the shadows, including creating more shadows. It's still like unnaturally fast, it'll likely make enemies not all that reactive, and they won't have the most engaging levels to tackle, but I'm at least curious to see the numbers on how many people played the stealth character over the samurai, and whether those stats can influence any future AAA stealth games. As far as pure stealth games go, I feel like the industry has like no interest in these anymore. Even Hitman, which kind of cracked the code with all of this, is a very specific type of puzzle game that can't really be replicated without sort of ripping it off. It's a little sad to say that I think stealth will continue to be relegated to being a mechanic, not a genre, but I just think that's how it has to be right now. And until somebody can think up, successfully pitch, and produce a successful game that feels like a true, fresh take on stealth, we're going to continue to see it as a secondary option whenever it shows up. So for now, to answer my biggest question from the intro, I do think stealth needs to suck for a little bit to survive. But also, if Arcane makes Dishonored 3, I take back everything. Please, for the love, please make Dishonored 3. I'm begging you. Oh, there. End of the video reminder. Go check out that video game
People, they love Dishonored, chat.
I'll see you next time. Bye.
Romantic
No. I hate playlists. Stop playing the next video while I'm trying to copy them into my great Excel spreadsheet. You're pissing me off. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Whoops, that's the right one, but we have a little thingy at the top. Whoops, we're clicking over here. Whoops, we're clicking over here. We got to get rid of all the everything after the and sign. That's not necessary. We got to go, we'll give that video a good. You know, he had a little thingy going. He wasn't too boring. He was just a little bit boring. He didn't say anything too stupid. You know, we got to reward that type of behavior. Wait, his profile pic is The Last of Us, so he's wrong about it. Was it? Here we go. It's going to load any second now.
Fall in.
Oh, yeah, it's like a clicker. Now, that's crazy. The answer to this this video is 10 seconds long, and the stealth in video games are tedious and boring and nobody wants to play them. Kinda true. How is he wrong about it? I see. I've reread the great comments here and I understand now. We certainly don't have enough time for this stupid Griffith video. Now let's do this Berserk video, huh? We're gonna read this to understand Berserk. I have no idea what this comic is going to be. I literally have no idea. I'm very excited. Warning, there are some made-up fantasy names I butcher. Sorry in advance.
Berserk is considered by many to be a masterclass in dark.
It's not just one of the greatest stories ever told. It's one of the greatest manga ever told, too.
Fantasy.
I fucked it up, Chad. That was pretty funny.
Philosophy and tragedy with a bit of action for good measure. Going on for over 300 chapters. And
we hate action here.
And more so, even after the creator's too early death. But as unique as its themes are, there are...
His heart exploded. We heard so from the great Ciclet himself. He was there. Ciclet was there when Mira died. He was cursing him. In fact, I think Ciclet made his heart explode. He saw the great Ciclet, and the fear of God went into it, and it exploded. Now look at this. This is a bunch of fucking stuff. Which Evangelion dub should you watch? None of them. The Japanese Paranormal Activity remake, Nadia. We've all got to watch Nadia soon. You know, we love the great Hideaki Anno. Proto-Evangelion or pre-filler? Epic. People do complain about there being filler in that show. Should you watch Evangelion on Netflix? No, you have to torrent it, like a good little boy. Ballmaster Z, a cartoon tribute to anime. I have no idea what Ballmaster Z is. And this one is his second most famous. The World War II anime of the Axis. Uh-oh, we don't like the Axis here. We're strong ally supporters. Does Kyle's mic randomly turn off for half a second every now and then? That's what Miller was saying earlier in the stream, Elitery, but we don't know how to fix it. And then everybody else said that he was just being a complaining little pussy. And by that we meant Turith. But he's gone now. So unless you got a genius idea, Elitery, on how to fix it, you better shut your mouth. Should I just unplug it again and plug it back in? We've already done that on both ends, though. Should I just fuck with it a little bit, move the little cord around a little bit? Because that's got to be what it is. Oh my god, I just moved it around and it didn't go not red. So maybe I just fixed it. By the way, last night watching MHA on Crunchyroll, there was a big subtitle error at a big moment. Can't believe it. True, we've all got a pirate now. Or we'll post on the Reddit, and Elitery will count 11 complaints next time instead of 10.
Are inspirations that share similar.
We hate Evil Dead or whatever this inspiration is.
Too early death. But as unique as its themes are, there are inspirations that share similar themes. Small similarities here and there, but there's one.
Oh my god, the great, this song that Daft Punk then remade, and I watched that cool video about it, and I love this song, Touch, it's great, and this guy looks like Griffith.
Media that I think is required reading for any Berserk fan. Corum, The Coming of Chaos. To understand Corum...
No, I've never heard about this in my life, so we're all going to learn about the great Corum today.
To further understand its Arthur and time period. Michael Moorcock was oh no, he's still alive. He started writing fantasy and sci-fi in the late 60s as a reaction to the more traditional...
Is this the Watchmen guy?
...fantasy of the past. This movement was called the New Wave of Sci-Fi and Fantasy, whereas the...
It could be possible I'm just yelling, and that's when the mic cuts out. Your PC can't handle streaming anymore. Kill yourself, Elitery. I'll literally come to that place and kill you if that becomes true.
The worlds of The Lord of the Rings were peaceful until disrupted by evil. Moorcock's worlds had evil in them to begin with, helping to pioneer dark rings, the more traditional fantasy of the past. This movement was called the New Wave of Sci-Fi and Fantasy, whereas the worlds of The Lord of the Rings were peaceful until disrupted by evil. Moorcock's worlds had evil in them to begin with, helping to pioneer dark fantasy as a genre. Whereas Conan was the tan barbarian brute, Moorcock liked to write characters that were frail and weak. He wrote
that looks like the Final Fantasy art guy.
In an overarching multiverse called the Eternal Champion Saga. In fact, he's even credited with using the term multiverse in fiction. Corum was written somewhat early in his career in 1970.
Michael Moorcock. I've heard this name before, chat. Michael Moorcock. He needed more cock. Did you write Watchmen or is this a different guy? It doesn't. Watchmen would have come up if he wrote it. So is this like George R. R. Martin's friend? Does Preston talk about this guy? Why do I know this guy? Oh, he definitely is. The great Preston Jacobs. Got downvoted for saying Moorcock is... Oh, that's not good. Then there are those who deliberately rebelled against it. Oh my god, he must be an influence because we're talking about dark fantasy and evil and stuff. I know everything about literature. No, Alan Moore as Watchmen? Yeah, and he did the Batman one, right? The good one that you said was bad the other day. This is the guy I thought, but this is Alan Moore. Isn't this where he says Stan Lee's a pussy? I would have beat his ass.
Yeah. That was a little bit.
Oh yes, he says Jack Kirby's the real one. Stan Lee just stole his shit. I know. I used these about 10 years ago when I was into superheroes.
But still serves.
No, Frank Miller did The Dark Knight Returns. Well, how about we just have one author?
There's a somewhat middling sweet spot.
That is another one I recognize. Frank
Popular
Miller.
work would be Elric of Mel.
Did Alan Moore do the mouse one? Or is that somebody else? Yeah, he's got a beard and he talks weird. V for Vendetta? But, oh, he did do one. This is the one where he kills Robin. Spoiler. Lost Girls? I didn't know he wrote Attack on Titan. That was a great joke, chat. Everybody laughed. He's tall as fuck. He's taller than me. Well, we don't like that, but he's old. I'll beat his ass.
Is the Eternal Champion saga.
Oh,
fact,
is the Elric dude that Stannis is based off?
Been credited with using the term multiverse in fiction. Corum was written somewhat early in his career in 1971, but still serves as a somewhat middling sweet spot. His most popular work would be Elric of Mel Nimine, the story of an albino prince who discusses the philosophical side
albino princes? George R. R. Martin loves both these things.
World with ongoing adventures. But afterwards he wrote the Hawkmoon series, featuring more traditional sword and sorcery action themes. But afterwards came Corum, being somewhat of a middle, having deep philosophical thought and a good chunk of action, which would be a perfect description of Berserk, a blending of philosophy and action. But I think Corum's biggest takeaway would be its world. The Eternal Champion is that of reborn in different universes to fight a never-ending battle between law and chaos. Sound familiar? Berserk is all about finding the light in dark fantasy. In previous Michael Moorcock stories like Elric, he was bound by the god of chaos, but Corum is on the side of law, wanting to keep peace in the world. It's a never-ending yin-yang.
So we've got no real connection so far.
Light and dark.
And then we just kind of mischaracterized Berserk, so this is interesting.
And Corum is on the side of light, just like how Guts is. But I know my audience, y'all want a book with pictures.
Epic. I love the Guts is actually just a generic good guy talking point. I love that talking point. Gonna flesh it out a little bit more. Ciclet's gonna be around any corner telling us that he raped a toddler.
In it. The comic adaptation was written in 1987, published by First Comics, a short-lived publishing company that produced a lot of solid, underrated works. It was adapted by Mike Baron, one of the lead writers on Punisher, and drawn by Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy. I didn't even know that while writing this. The artwork is just beautiful. Watercolors of scenery along with Mignola's signature high contrast design. It's a match made in heaven. If you ask me, I think it looks just as good, if not better, than the Elric comics. It adapts the first trilogy of books, and they were going to follow it up with the others, but they only adapted one before First Comics went under. But how's the story itself? On another plane of reality, the races Vadhag and Nakrag have never known war over 1,000 years. One day, Corum's father is having trouble communicating with the other planes, and sends Corum out to contact the other Vadhag, but discovers it's been destroyed by the Madim, a race of human barbarians who thought the Shefenhau demons. Corum runs back to a Nakrag castle to see it's also been destroyed.
First Rome, now this?
Realizing what's happening, he runs back to his family castle, but it's too late. The Madim have slaughtered his whole family, leaving him the last of his own race. Filled with rage, he tries to attack them right then and now, but it's for naught. The Madim capture him and sever his hand and gouge out his eye. Yep.
Oh my god, that's just like the Great Guts.
That's where it comes from. Later on, he's taken to a Madim castle on the ocean, but it's okay, they're one of the good ones. They've been so isolated.
Now, you might say the great Luke Skywalker, who this fucking Kentaro Miura idiot couldn't do anything. Nothing else he could do but slurp on his knob. Also got his hand cut off, and that's probably where it comes from. Now, but it was the eye too.
They'd never known how to fight, and he also meets his future love.
Jamie Lannister's... Oh my god, we're sexing.
But the Madim come back to attack, but Corum can still fight on his own, with one arm. Relaena uses sorcery to summon her dead husband and crew to ward off the attack, in exchange for them to take her. Corum, not taking any of this, goes with them, and later is met by Shkul Adran, lord of all that is head in the sea. He explains to him that the cosmic balance of law and chaos are off. In exchange for Relaena, he'll kill the Chaos God, the Knight of the Swords, and take his heart. Shkul gives him the Eye of Rin, and lets him see the dead that he's slain, and the Hand of Quill that allows him to grab them and bring them to his plane to fight for him. So yeah, I think we kind of lost the Berserk motif a while ago. Maybe you could say the Sea God god reminds them of the Giant of the Sea, but I don't know. There's definitely an overarching similarities with the idea of an eternal champion doomed to live forever, and of course, not being able to control your own fate. Elric is Moorcock's most well-known character.
You love Guts, you know he's doomed to live forever.
And for good reason. He's cool, he's nihilistic, he's edgy, he's a heartthrob, but Corum exists on the opposite end, in a more optimistic light. It ends on a much happier note. Corum is a fighting machine just like Guts, but he also hates to do it. I think that can summarize Berserk in a good way. Guts is violent, but also has a heart. He works through it. Like Corum, he has a much softer side.
You know, chat, Berserk, you know, so much bombast, so much terrible stuff, so much action, but it's really the quiet moments that make it what it is.
It's what makes Berserk special. Dark fantasy, but
it is.
It can be lighthearted. And I think that even stands out from most of Moorcock's writing. You could say it just ticks the typical fantasy checklist. He actually wrote all 3 books in 2 weeks. But sometimes that's just what you need.
Epic. Why didn't George take that into consideration?
I love Moorcock's writing. It's what I've been doing all summer. It's a good middle between easy to read and lustful prose. The comic is beautiful too. I love Minola's artwork and the writing is tight. It's immensely creative and I just wanted to know what happens next. If you're a Berserk fan, I think at least the comic
Berserk, famously tight,
is required reading. And if you're a manga-only reader, don't worry, I only found the first issue to be really wordy. They had to summarize a lot. Core may not be the best of Moorcock's work, but it's a standout for me. An optimistic sword and sorcery fantasy on top of being one of the inspirations for Berserk.
Look at how many views he got.
So,
this is why we're making more Berserk content, chat. You know, I know our last one bombed, but the next one will be famous.
That's what I've been doing this past summer, just reading a bunch of Moorcock. Sorry I don't make videos a lot. This is just kind of a hobby for me. I started writing some other videos, but I didn't think they were up to par. Kind of feels like I've wasted my summer not making anything, but I'll definitely be working on something in the meantime when my next semester starts. But if you do want to watch something, here are some other channels I think are really underrated.
Oh, everybody hold on.
Video about the history of First Comics, I recommend the video by Strange Brain.
Oh, it's comics. I was like, we're gonna get a shout out, chat. Everybody's excited.
Really
Everybody calm down.
If you want to know more about Moorcock's Eternal Champion series, the library
I made a
has a good
Moorcock
series
video
going
too.
over all 11 books. So far, he only did the first 3, but they're still really good. And if you want to know where I got the title of this video from, go watch The Bellman and his video about...
Watch this anime to understand Evangelion. This is epic. I want to watch that video. The Beltman. Oh, you think he links him in the description?
About his or her circumstances and how it relates to Evangelion.
Oh, it's just Karakano. I've already heard these talking points before. That's his and her circumstances, Elitari. I know, Japanese.
As many people as there are.
There's a lot of people.
Also really good. So yeah, go watch them, because I'm going to be a while.
Well, he seems like a nice guy. I didn't remember hearing Earth at all in this video. Why do I have 2 Discord notifications? Is it Minty? Is he pissing me off? Or is he responding to the great attacks I made on him about reading those dojins earlier? Oh my god, we're going actually flat. Oh no, we got 17%. I always confuse the little battery warnings. It's not that one, it's the one with the little warning sign we got to be worried about. Alita E, did you make a bunch of notes about my video yet? You want to jump in and discuss? He doesn't, Chad. He doesn't. Now, we wouldn't have enough time for such a long discussion. We'll give that video an okay. Because we're nice. What do you think the comments say? Wow, I didn't know this. Wow, this video is getting a lot of views. He did. Holy crap. Physical deformities. Giant black sword. Doomed existence. Hot girlfriend he can never be with. Guts really is an eternal champion. It's a shame Moorcock's works are not more known. Elric is the main inspiration for Warhammer, Chaos, Warcraft, Arthas, and Game of Thrones, Targaryen and Lannister as well. True. Preston probably told me that one time. So that's what my ex meant when she wanted more... Oh, I already made that joke, chat. I'm just like YouTube commenters and Redditors. You lost the Berserk, but gained the old school D&D. David and Dan? No, that's crazy. No, that's the one where he paralyzes Batgirl. Ah, well, you know, I do know a thing or two about comics. Hold on, I want to check if it is Minty. So you're going to get a tree animated while I check Discord, and then I'm going to check chat. Oh, it's Elite RE! Probably next week, he says to my great godfather question. What a little pussy. Then we've got in general... oh, Bacon's encouraging me to script more. What a nice young man that Bacon is, huh? Wait, is the... Oh my god, I thought the audio wasn't going through because this one has an extra thingy. It's a whole thingy, chat. Hold on. No, we don't need that. We need to get rid of this. Now we need to check chat. Batgirl, but he's taller than Miller. But is he taller than Miller? No, nobody's taller than Miller. We all understand this. Elite RE's...
And I know.
This is a Miller link and fucking Alita relinked it. What an embarrassment. Oh my god, he has beef with Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained. Lamar. Hold on, I thought that was Star Wars Explained. That's Star Wars Theory. Star Wars Explained is so wholesome. Love those guys. We hate wholesome people here. We've got this one too. He wants me to watch this Totally Not Mark video. This is a genius video idea if you haven't seen One Piece, so I don't know why Totally Not Mark is doing it. That's not what I wanted to click. I wanted this. I'm scrolling. Will you fucking scroll down, you piece of shit? Can you not check Discord on your phone? I could, but I didn't want to. Oh my god, Pyro Live. Dr. Disrespect actually responded.
This is me, and today I had a really...
I know that face. I saw it with that genocide-denying piece of shit Destiny. And frankly, I'm not going to watch this channel because of it.
But he's just such a sackless guy that he just can't do it himself, and he has to have his wife do it for him. People aren't watching your stuff, even with all of the free...
Hey, I was watching that.
Press and extra...
This guy's got a butt chin. You ever notice that? That's crazy. Anyway, I don't give a fuck about these idiots. The experiment made him hate One Piece. I hate One Piece too. But all that took was Miller being annoying a little bit. Oh, what do we do for the rest of the stream? You can watch a little bit of one of these things. I don't give a
extra stuff that Lucasfilm and Disney give you. I mean, maybe that should tell you something.
True.
People just don't like you, and that's a you problem. Take accountability. Is it about This Week in Clickbait? Is it about Alex not being able to sleep at night and you having to freaking coddle him but he could sleep because another channel was putting out content that was getting more views?
15% off sale is now officially live. Go to TheorySavers.com right now.
Oh my god, I thought that was him cutting to these guys. I want to see the great Star Wars Explained. Do you think he linked them in the description? I don't think he did. Let's see if these... Oh my god, 3.33 million subscribers. You double that, that's 6. This man's the devil. Oh my god, she's a lot skinnier than I expected. I expected it to be a fat...
Doing that on a Thursday night ruined me. Nerds! Yeah. You and me are nerds.
Oh my god, and he's skinny too? This is crazy.
One to put on that show. Everyone check out Thank the Maker Pod, because that's their Star Wars podcast, and they're all...
Now, it does look like Star Wars Theory could beat up this guy, and that's all that matters. But I don't know, maybe he's tough. Star Wars Theory does have a butt chin. That means he got bullied when he was younger. That means he can fight. I think he barely got further than you. Well, it's good to know that I don't have to do any... When One Piece gets announced that it's ending, it only is going to take me, like, 72 hours to catch up. So I don't have to read now. Thank you, Miller. When did anime become bad? Epic. 6 months ago. That means we can watch it. I want to watch this. It's going to make Alidari mad. Now. Oh, I was going to look up the great Chibi reviews. Chibi reviews. Sucks. Why did I look that up? I must have been pissed off one day. I don't reckon there's any new content. Shut up, Chibi. Shonen Jump is desperate for Jujutsu. Oh my god. Because everything's ending and the world fall down. Just like when Demon Slayer ended and when Naruto ended. Now, coping with a Gen Z adult. I feel like there's also a million of these videos where it's like annoying. You know, in school they didn't prepare us for real life. And I'm a little boy and I don't know what to do in life. And I just, you know, we can't trust the media. And, you know, bitches don't love me. You know, they're all on OnlyFans.
Yeah, is over. And Jujutsu
and they got little small voices.
Kaisen is soon to follow in the upcoming weeks. 2 mega monolithic manga series that have made waves and have changed the landscape of manga and anime forever. The impact and effects they will have on culture itself with the anime manga community is honestly still to this day left unseen. We can already see the ripples, the waves it's making, but we don't really see the
oh my god, it's the great Twitter.com. You know, I can't even go on Twitter anymore because, you know, I just get this one boobs girl over and over. I've spoken at lengths about this in the past, but things only get better if Team YouTube does... Oh, so hold on, she was calling for this ship of the great Star Wars Theory. Oh my god, and she got a response. Oh my god, she's getting retweeted. This isn't good. Last week, Amanda Stralberg, she, they, chat, posted candid comments on Instagram about the rampage of bigotry and vitriol. True. Now, Star Wars Theory would never encourage violence, threats, or harassment. And that's all we have to say about that. So nobody gives a fuck about this. What about Tyrone? This is how I get all my news nowadays. Nikki Avocado, who I've only learned about recently because apparently he used to be fat. Oh my god, Jenna Ortega. Now, I've seen this name a bunch, and only recently did I realize this was the girl from You, Season 2, when she was like a 14-year-old. But now she's a big girl, and she's allowed to kiss Sabrina Carpenter in music videos. Now, Sabrina Carpenter, Jenna... You know this one. They kiss in it, everybody, alright? We're gay. We love Sabrina Carpenter. She's the biggest pop star in the world at the moment. Now, it's in double speed, so we're not going to get attacked. No, it's the most replayed. They're kissing, chat. I told you it was just made up. So do you think they were fighting over a boy, and then they said, fuck that boy, but they're fighting again? Oh, and then she stabs her, and then another version of her is going to come up from behind, chat. There's another one. And there's a boyfriend. They killed him, chat, because, you know, they get rid of these fucking men. Now, is she younger than me? Ah! She's a year younger than me, chat. We got ourselves. Like 5 years younger than me, because, you know, I'm old when I'm watching You, and she's a little teenager. But maybe she was older. Good luck, Molly. Oh, that's the Star Wars person. See, Miller has no principles. He doesn't care about free speech on this platform. He just doesn't like Star Wars theory, so thinks he should be censored. And, you know, I stand for the great freedoms that this country promises. And by this country, I mean the great United States of America. How to draw like Kishimoto, Naruto art style. We need to talk about video game Rain. That's just like what we just did, and it's a Last of Us thumbnail. But it's just a dude standing in front of it. Now, there's no way we're thinking The Last of Us does Rain bad. You know, it's the prettiest video game of all time. Now, we're getting rid of this. We'll close these. You know, next time, maybe, chat, we'll be able to watch that great Mask Man video. But anyway, we're going flat. Join me. I fight for freedom of speech. They're trying to censor me, chat, so go to my Patreon. God, I would get $30,000 a month if this was the olden days, but nowadays the people just don't care. But anyway, it's hot in here, hopefully, but now, you know, I stream at this time, chat, because, you know, I'm hungry, but I gotta wait for dinner. But by the time I finish stream, which goes by in a flash, dinner's gonna be ready. So it's gonna be epic, chat, and I'm gonna have food to eat. And also, the storm didn't happen yet. When are you making drama videos? Any day now, Elite, any day. You know, there's no drama I give a fuck about. I'm going to make a Mr. Beast video, you know, Dog Fart 101 or whatever. You know, he was good, but then he wasn't. But Turkey Tom already does that, Elite. We need internal Elite Ciclet drama. I'll comment on that. Oh, and I got a message Ciclet about my great idea. Support links in the description below. That's not what we say, right?